Well, good afternoon. Welcome to the Pat Sheranian Show. We're Leonard and Sidney O'Reilly sitting in and having a good time. This being Memorial Day, we hope that you have a good Memorial Day. We don't have anybody in our family that is directly in the military that we can talk about, but certainly there are those of you out there who do have people in the military that you've either lost or are praying for, that they are staying safe in troubled zones of the world. We are thankful for those who have given their lives that we may have our freedoms.
And their time.
Yes.
And their sacrifice.
Now, last week we talked about several subjects, and so let's enumerate them.
Okay.
We talked about living our lives in priority order, which my wife has been teaching for a long time. Like I said, we're Leonard and Sidney O'Reilly. Sidney is an author of the book called The 12-Week Challenge. What's the second part of it?
Lay a foundation for your success.
Yes. And she's actually written another one that she has not published, The 12-Month Challenge, which has even more, quite a bit more material that she would like to be able to give to people and share with people. And we're still bringing that forward in a not too distant future, we hope. But in the meantime, what are the challenges we talked about last week?
Well, last week we talked about the 6 areas, which are spiritual strength, health, mental and physical, family, purpose, temporal stewardship, and giving back. And we talked about how these are in order and what happens when we live them directly in that order. And we issued some challenges that I'm hoping some of you took last week. And if you did, we want to congratulate you. And we just want to review them real briefly so that if you didn't, or if you did them, so you can remember what they were. We gave a challenge to start a morning routine, which involves daily scripture study, taking care of your health, eating properly, exercising, and taking care of your family. Of course, we naturally take care of our family, but what I meant was to just take a little bit of meditative time to let the names of your family members run through your mind in the morning and see if there's any special needs that come to the forefront.
Of course, it goes without saying that prayer is part of that, too.
Absolutely. Part of your scripture study and spiritual strength time in the morning. And if any of you have tried this and had any success, successfully done some of this, I know you've already felt the difference it makes in your life, because it makes a tremendous difference. And then we also issued a challenge, thank you, to start a gratitude journal, because this makes such a difference in our daily lives. If we take a moment each morning to think about those things that we were grateful for, it absolutely changes your day. So important for our mental well-being. And
then we talked about changing the way we eat.
We talked about switching out refined flours for whole grains, and how easy that is to do nowadays.
Yes.
They have whole wheat spaghetti, whole wheat lasagna noodles, whole wheat bread, of course.
Well, actually, in the meantime, I learned something new that the wheat that is in noodles is called, what was that word?
Well, not all of noodles.
Oh,
but
okay,
some
but
noodles.
many noodles have that
Durum
wheat, which again is a more natural product. It's not a refined flour, so it might be safe. My wife, and I can attest to this, she's in better condition when she doesn't take any white flour into her body, and
or
for that matter,
sugar,
white refined sugar. So we use other kinds of sugars, which we are excited to talk about, agave being one of them. The brand name around here, made in Linden, or packaged in Linden, is Zagave with an X in front of it. Agave with his X, X-A-G-A-V-E, and that is what we buy 1 gallon of about every month and a half to use for cooking and all of our sweetening. Of course, there are other sweeteners out there that don't raise your hypoglycemic index and all that. But anyway, go ahead, dear.
Well, we also talked about our purple smoothies and how important they are. It's such an easy way to get a shot of raw fruits and vegetables every day.
We started by following the Green Smoothie Girl out of Linden, her website, greensmoothiegirl.com. We started with that, then we added berries from Costco. There was 3 berries in the frozen foods department there, and put that in the blender and becomes purple purple or blue or
Yeah.
anyway,
It
it's
doesn't
no
look
longer
like swamp
green.
water.
Yeah, it doesn't look like swamp water. So we enjoy that just about every morning. So it makes us healthy. I, at one time, had a heavy case of arthritis. But this is almost, 20, 30 years ago now, where I was bedridden for half a year. Couldn't hardly move any joint in my body. Arthritis can be pretty bad on your system if you're not treating your body right. We learned then that we were going to, from then on, treat our body right. So we worked on it.
Yeah.
We're not perfect. We are not saying that we are healthier than thou, like, the holier than thou business. We're not the healthier than thou, but we do try to work on having more of a raw foods diet. A goal would be 60% being raw, raw vegetables and fruit rather than all the cooked stuff. But go ahead, dear. What's next?
Oh, well, interesting. We found such profound difference in our life from changing our lifestyle and our health, our food diet. And just this past week, 3 of my friends who have also made major changes in their diet have found the same profound effects. I mean, it's just amazing. And like one woman who is probably addicted to colas has been off of it for 3 weeks, and she had problems of being a recluse. I mean, she would not, I loved to visit her, and we'd make appointments to visit, and she'd put me off forever, and we would text each other. She couldn't even talk on the phone. Well, she called me this last week and invited me to come see her.
Out of the blue.
And she is so much happier and doing so much better. I can't help but think that the high amounts of sugar she was eating affected her so detrimentally. And I know that sugar and refined flour has terrible effects on my brain chemistry.
Now, we don't want to
well.
knock cola. Oh, yes, we do. It's just so bad for you. It's what I get on my soapbox about all the time with everybody I can talk about. I mean, cola, soft drinks is the worst thing you put in your body because Americans are doing too much of it. Way, way too much. I mean, if they could cut back half or all the way down to 0, it would be better. But too many people are drinking 4, 5, 10 glasses of pop a day.
Well, tell them about some of the statistics in that article.
And they think they're being hydrated.
Yeah.
When indeed, it's going just the opposite way. We have some articles that we can cite here that talk about the destructive nature of sugared waters in your body, colored, flavored, sugared waters in your body.
Well, that's part of it. It isn't all. There's more to it than that, isn't there?
Oh, yes. You mean...
What they're talking about in this article as far as diet?
Oh, yes. I mean, after all, it has to do with eating wrong all the way around. The SAD diet, that's called the Standard American Diet, which, we've had for a long time presented to us by the government. The food pyramid. My wife just kicked me on the knee.
No,
here.
I did.
I know. We have to be careful. We're not going to say too many bad things about the government, but it's just that they are in the way too much. I mean, after all, aren't they supposed to be protecting us? And yet they don't even want us to have supplements. Don't want to talk about supplements and natural foods. They want us to stay on their expensive drugs. After all, it's a big industry, and drugs and medical industry and all the money that flows because of people not eating right. I don't think the government really, really wants us to be well, because after all, it's a big industry.
Well, on the positive side.
Yes, let's talk about positive things.
There's a lot we can do. Sadly, the statistics just keep growing concerning obesity and diabetes and heart disease and things that are actually dietary related that are prevented by eating a proper diet. And that's what's really sad about it. And the joy we feel and the energy and the health we enjoy from just simple changes in our diet are something that we're pretty passionate about sharing. As a matter of fact, we're going to be launching a healthy lifestyle, 6 steps to a healthy lifestyle.
Which, of course, affects your weight.
Yes. And I don't like to call it a weight loss program because the way our brain works, when we talk about losing something, it finds a way to find it again. And so I'd rather talk about having a healthy lifestyle.
Yes.
I mean, that's so much more
statements.
important than weight loss, and we're about up to our ears with weight loss in the first place, although it is an important ingredient to our overall health.
I have no health problem. I mean, excuse me, I have no weight problem myself, so I really like talking about the other part of it too. You know, doing away with GMOs, that's genetically modified foods in our diets, preservatives, all these things that are supposed to keep the food nice, but kills our innards and makes us sicker. We ourselves, we like to read labels. And if the label has more than 3 items in it, I don't think we'll take it. You know, tortilla chips just says corn, oil, and salt. That's not a big label. We'll eat that, but we sure don't want to eat the ones that has all the other stuff lined up there.
That you
20
can't
rows
pronounce.
of, yes, all kinds of bad stuff. We just don't eat, what do you call those things? Packaged foods, what's the name?
Processed.
Processed foods, yes. We just don't eat
Very
those things.
little processed foods.
Very seldom. And I'm not perfect about not eating white sugar stuff. Just had a thing yesterday. I had 2 cookies, sweet cookies, you know, sweetened the wrong way.
But I don't dare do that, or I'd have a problem sleeping as well as white sugar.
And then I can't live with her when she's getting the wrong
'cause
sugar.
I get grouchy,
Yes.
irritable.
I can vouch for that.
Yeah, so it's just not worth it to either one of us. In fact, I had been praying for years for answers to be kinder to my sweet husband. And lo and behold, my prayers were answered in a very interesting way, because I found out all I needed to do was get off white flour and white sugar, and I was no longer battling every day, which was just a total miracle to me, and I have such gratitude about that. But we wanted to talk about 6 steps to a healthy lifestyle.
Go for it.
Okay. So in the first step in gaining a healthy lifestyle, you might find kind of interesting, is to gain a testimony that you're a child of God. Now, why should that have anything to do with healthy lifestyle? Well, as a child of God, we feel, and I know many of you may feel, that you have a special purpose here. You aren't just plunked here out of the blue for no reason. You've been given gifts and talents and even experiences, trials. You've gained knowledge of things, and you've grown passionate about some things in your life. Well, these are no accident. Heavenly Father placed each one of us here with something special to do that we can do better than anyone else, and we need to be about discovering what that is and about fulfilling our purpose. So as a child of God, in order to fulfill our purpose, if we're running on empty calories like white flour and white sugar, we're going to have a hard time recognizing and fulfilling that purpose. And this is so important. So the step 2 we've already talked about is to gain a testimony that you have a mission to fulfill. And this is part, but you know, the first thing we talked about, the morning routine, you want to fill your spiritual tank with scripture study and prayer and the knowledge that you're a child of God and have that assurance in your life. And then you want to take care of your health. And as you do those 2 things, you'll be more able to be guided and directed in your mission each day. And you know, when we don't have a purpose every day, why should we get out of bed in the morning? I mean, you know, it's just,
Yeah.
and it's so interesting. Joseph Smith said that faith is the, I'm forgetting, I'll have to paraphrase this, but without faith, we would have no action in our lives. We wouldn't do anything. So as we grow in energy and mental clarity concerning our mission, we will have the faith to get out of bed every morning because we know we're doing what we're supposed to be doing.
And so on this list right here, we have something that says, what does this have to do with smashmallows?
Oh.
Explain.
Well, smashmallows are what my little 3-year-old granddaughter used to call marshmallows. And so often when we look at changing our lifestyle and we think about willpower, or we look at maybe our wanting to have a healthier lifestyle or lose weight, and we think of willpower. But you know what?
That's the word I was looking for.
Oh,
willpower,
okay.
yes,
Yeah.
yes. As we were driving here to the station, I couldn't remember the word. Willpower is so important.
You know, but it turns out that willpower, there's other things that are more important than willpower. Isn't that interesting?
What's that?
Well, one is imagination.
Okay.
And we'll get into that in a minute. But first I want to tell you about...
Do I have imagination?
Of course you do.
Okay, I just wondered. I always have to look to her to know what I am, because
Oh, goodness.
she's read thousands of books on self-improvement, on religion, on every aspect of life. She's read over thousands of books. And so I glean from her these tidbits.
Oh, Leonard has so much to offer. I can't wait for some time when he can play his music for you. You'll just be blown away. But at any rate, this, getting back to marshmallows, there was a psychological study done at Stanford University by a man named Michael Michel, and he demonstrated how important what he called self-discipline is, but we're going to get around that in a minute.
The willpower word.
Yeah, the willpower word, the W word. So what he did was he brought 4-year-olds in, and he put 2 marshmallows on the table, and he told them that if they could wait 20 minutes and not eat the marshmallows, that they could have 2 more marshmallows. And then he had the researcher leave the room and leave them alone with the marshmallows. Well, here's what happened. You can probably guess. About a third of the children just immediately ate the marshmallows.
Couldn't resist.
Yeah. A third of them waited a little longer, but ate them before the 20 minutes were up.
Of course, if they knew how bad sugar was in marshmallows, they wouldn't have partaken anyway. But they didn't know anything about that, so that's why they had that desire. They didn't know how bad they were.
Yeah. And well, a third of them resisted the full 20 minutes and were able to get the other 2 marshmallows. So they followed these children for about 20 years, which is kind of incredible.
And this is interesting now. Listen to this.
Well, the ones, they wanted to know if the ones that had the ability to delay self-gratification immediately if it made any difference in their lives. And when they followed them, they found out there was a dramatic difference, that the ones who were able to resist for the full 20 minutes actually did better in school. They were happier, healthier. They had stronger relationships and higher incomes. And the ones that didn't resist actually were unhappy, were distracted on long-term goals to try and do things that were more fun.
Always took the easier path, I suppose.
Yeah. Had less happy marriages, lower incomes, and frustrating lives.
Yeah, very interesting.
Yeah. Well, but there's hope, because those of us that might have taken the marshmallows immediately, and I probably might have been one of them for that.
Oh, goodness.
But they've also, since this experiment, have done other experiments. In fact, if you go to changeanything.com, they show a video of a 10-year-old boy who recreates this experiment. Only they did something interesting. They decided to take observe the children that delayed gratification to see how they did it. And it turns out that the children that delayed gratification substituted something else. They'd look around at everything else but the marshmallows. They'd sing a song. They'd play with their hands. They'd make up a game. They'd do anything rather than think about the marshmallows. So it turns out that they enhanced their ability to delay gratification by substituting something better or different for it so that they could have something better. Now, all of us can do that. And see, what's wonderful and exciting is that scientists have proven that we don't have an inborn personality or set of qualities that will never change. We can change just about anything about ourselves. It's called neuroplasty. And as we grow, we create neural connections in our brain that if we work at it can be broken, and we can make new connections in our brain. So if we might have felt like, oh, well, I would have eaten the marshmallows right away, we can now learn ways to distract ourselves and purposely delay gratification and become like those children who seemed more disciplined in the beginning. We can also become high achievers. In fact, it's so exciting. They have high achievement psychology that's just brand new. That's
new words.
Yeah. Well, they decided to study the people who were successful rather than the people that were ill or mentally deficient.
Yes, all the problems.
They decided to study the people who succeeded, and then they've gleaned from that what they were doing right, and they teach us how to do the same things that the high achievers do, and we can do it.
Yes.
This is just exciting.
Well, Sidney, we better let them put an advertisement in here. Mr. Engineer, are you ready to put that on so you can take it away?
Or if he's busy, we'll just do something else.
Hi, I'm Roger Strong. I'm here to tell you about Tidbits of Utah County. No death, divorce, devastation, or destruction, just good news for good people. You'll find us everywhere in Utah Valley, in doctors' offices, restaurants, mechanic shops, anywhere that people wait. We have over 35 features of fun, family-friendly entertainment. To find a paper or to advertise, call Roger at 801-616-6288. Again, that's Roger at 801-616-6288, or Tidbits of Utah County, the happy paper for Happy Valley.
Are you an athlete looking for a natural boost to your workout? Have you studied up on the benefits of nitric oxide production to your performance? Then you'll want to try Kyani's Nitro Extreme. Nitro Extreme promotes cardiovascular health and improved blood flow, supports muscle contraction and relaxation, as well as nerve transmission. I use Nitro Extreme right before I lift weights, and I've never been stronger in my entire life. If you don't try Nitro Extreme, you'll never know what you're missing. Call 801-362-9552 to order yours today. That's 801-362-9552.
The India Palace offers a unique dining experience located at 98 West Center Street in Provo. We offer the only lunch special in Utah County. It's all you can eat for $9.95, and it offers over 20 items, all of which are homemade and of the freshest ingredients. The lunch buffet offers different items every day. We have dairy and gluten-free foods and cater to vegetarians and vegans. We also have professional pricing for catering. You can call for takeout or make reservations. You can do birthday parties or other special occasions. You can check out our menu online at indiapalaceut.com. That's indiapalaceut.com. Find us on Facebook at India Palace, Provo, Utah. Now call Amric for your next meal at 801-373-7200. That's 801-373-7200.
When you think about an auto body shop, what services come to mind? Collision repair? Ding removal? Painting and detailing? How about headlight repair, power window repair, and carpet cleaning? Casey's Bend and Mend in Provo will take those unwanted bends out of your vehicle and mend it back to great shape. For 15 years, Casey's Bend and Mend owner, Kevin Stubbs, has been using his artistry to get you back on the road looking good. Personable and approachable, Kevin will provide a free estimate and offers discounts to students and self-pay clients, in addition to working with all the insurance companies. Trust your vehicle to a craftsman, someone who will give you personal service and care. Casey's Bend and Mend, located at 85 East, 600 South in Provo. Give Kevin at Casey's Bend and Mend a call at 801-374-0930. You bend 'em, we mend 'em.
Okay,
So,
we're back.
yeah, we were talking about how imagination is stronger than willpower and more important than willpower. The other thing that these 4-year-olds did was they could visualize in their mind the 4 marshmallows they were going to receive at the end. And when they have that picture in their mind, it's much easier to delay gratification when they have a very strong idea of what they're going to get. So that's the other thing that's important to do as we delay our instant gratification and change our lifestyle. Okay, step 3, we'll go through these real quickly now. Step 3, you want to prayerfully study the Word of Wisdom. If you're not familiar with that, it's in the Doctrine and Covenants, section 89. You can look it up on the Google it or something.
Yeah.
And it outlines a healthy lifestyle that's been scientifically proven over and over.
Even though it was written a long, long time ago, given a long time ago.
Yeah, and it's just wonderful. And as you study that, it's important to prayerfully figure out your personal word of wisdom. I mean, the word of wisdom doesn't say, don't eat refined sugar and refined flour. But I've been able to discover through various means and guidance and inspiration what I needed to do.
Error.
Yeah, what I needed to do for me, and this is what each individual needs to do, is to take the heart of the words of wisdom and see how it applies to them. All right?
There's so many answers. I myself, I would like to get to, I'm not there yet, but I'd like to get there one day, where I can get to where they say, listen to your body will tell you what it wants.
Yes, that's true.
I'd like to get there one day.
Yes. Step 4, you want to study it out in your mind and choose a lifestyle. You know, you want to discern what to do next and let the Lord guide you in information and methods that will guide you. And so, of course, you always want to talk to your doctor and make sure that you're staying within healthy guidelines. And you want to decide on a method of measurement. Without some form of measurement, you're not really able to set goals and know that you've completed them, and that's so important.
Step 5.
You want to turn your stress over to the Lord. You know, you want to there's several things that heighten our stress factor. And one of them, would you believe, is just simply not drinking enough water, not getting enough sleep, not enough raw fruits and vegetables in your diet, something called insulin resistance we don't have time to go into right now, and plain having too much stress. And we go into how to reduce your stress altogether. And step number 6, once you've decided on the changes that you want to make and you've set some goals, you want to begin implementing the needed changes. And the best way I know how to do this is to have an accountability group.
Yes, this is what my wife's been doing for a long time. And this is what we mentioned at the beginning of the show that we want to get on to real soon, where people come together in groups of 6 where they can have success because they're working together.
Yep, where we cheer for each other and we heartstorm for each other.
That's a new word.
And we set goals just beyond our grasp that we know we can reach, so that when we set a promise to ourselves, we know we'll keep it. So important. So this program that we're talking about isn't about body image. We are already created in the image of God. This is a program about reclaiming and maintaining our long-term health. One side effect of improving our lifestyle can be improved appearance, which in turn helps us to feel more confident and have better health.
Yeah, you wouldn't know I was 100 years old, would you?
Yes, and
I'm
98.
I'm 73 and enjoying my life a whole lot because she took care of me. I'm not sure I would have taken care of myself. If I wasn't married to her and married to somebody else, I'd bet I'd be really big because I do like eating. But she has given me the food, before me the right kind of food. Oh, yes, even when I'm up by myself sometimes, I still will make, most of the time, good choices, but once in a while, bad choices. So, anyway, we do talk a lot about food, as you can tell. We mentioned last week, I wanted to say it again, when we put the wrong kind of food in our body, we're putting a lot of alkaline food, sweeteners or sugar causes acid in your body. And diseases grow in acid, whereas in an alkaline environment, like when you're eating fresh fruits and vegetables, the alkaline environment won't allow bad things to grow in your body, like cancer and other debilitating diseases. Why is it that America has so much more disease than the rest of the world? It's because they are eating wrong, and they're allowing certain parties to put the wrong kind of things in their food. You realize that, like I said last week, food at Walmart and other places in the world cannot be sold in the Walmarts and other parts because they have the wrong kind of ingredients in them. Their governments won't allow them to eat these things that we take into our body here in America. That's something else we can talk about some other time, but just know that we got to watch what we're putting in our bodies because the bodies will take care of themselves.
We want you to be able to reach your full potential. If you want to know more, contact us at www.the12monthchallenge.com.
And so we say to you, as we think about you making these goals, we're cheering for you.